Hello and welcome everybody to this week's episode of the podcast. This week I'm joined by the wonderful Anna Campbell, and we're going to be talking about a very topical theme, which is how to manage your socials and your jewelry business over the Christmas period. So as we kind of reach closer and closer to Christmas and everything that brings, whether you celebrate it or not, it's kind of a marker in the calendar. There's holidays, there's time off, there's various different things, family, whatever it is that you choose to do over that period. And it does have an effect for our businesses. So we thought we would give some tips, some advice, some reminders, hopefully, over what you can do over that period to just keep your business as healthy as possible. So the first thing I would recommend is making sure that you have your dates set up. So first of all, we need to make sure that we know, when is our cutoff point for Christmas? When is the last day that we're going to pop to the post office and ship out those orders? And after that point, there is no more shipping this year. And I usually recommend taking about 2 weeks off. Those of you that have children might do it based on the kind of holidays that are at the end of term for the schools. But that's also quite a good time for any of us to choose, because it's a nice marker of when people are going to be sort of winding down and gradually sort of switching off and switching into more of a holiday mode. So once you've got your dates, there's a few different places that we want to put them. One is on your website, and this is probably one of the most important ones, I think. If you're selling online, or even if you're not selling, but you've got a portfolio website that people visit, you want to make sure that you have a little banner or something, probably on the top of every page. Most websites, you can just put your own banner on top that says, I'm going to be closed from this date to that date, and any orders placed within that time will be shipped out the week that I come back. So, Anna, I want to bring you into the conversation as well. So, yeah, just come and say hi and tell us a bit about your thoughts around kind of Christmas dates and how we can be as clear as possible with our messaging around that.
Yeah, I think this is a really important thing. And I like this idea of actually taking a proper break because it can be a really busy time for family over this time as well, I think it's important to have those dates and be confident with the dates in terms of shipping. We want to give ourselves that little bit of extra time because shipping at this time of year, we all know it takes longer than it should, which is fine. There's lots of parcels going around. We don't want anyone to be disappointed over Christmas. So we want to try and make that as early as we can, I think. But yeah, I think what we really want to say in this whole, we're going to get into more things, but this whole thing is all about is just about this can be a really busy time for us. Hopefully it's very busy for you and your business, but even if it is or if it isn't, it's still a busy time generally for everybody. So it's about that kind of permission, if you need it, to take that break and to just say, I'm taking this time off at this time. And communicating that with your customers, because we want to be super clear so that they're not ordering something on the 25th of December and expecting it the next day or something like that. And I think, you know, with handmade, people buying from handmade, they do realize that we need to make things, we need to ship them, it's not some kind of manufactured process. So I think it's that clarity that's important.
Absolutely, yes. And taking a break, like you said, is so, so important, because you guys have worked really hard, all year round. And we're going to come back in January and work hard again. So we want to make sure that you're rested, recharged as much as you possibly can. Like Anna said, there are other busy things to be doing, but at least to have had a break from the business so that when you come back to it, you've got a fresh energy to bring to it, and you've had some different experiences and all of those things. So first thing is making sure you've chosen the date. Second is making sure you've got that banner on your website or anywhere that you're selling that just makes it really clear, like you're still open, they can still buy from you, but it's going to be shipped, in January. And that's fine. I think the second thing is looking at your correspondence, your customer service and your emails. So setting up an auto replier to your emails to, again, say a similar message, like, "Hey, happy holidays. These are the dates that I'm taking off. I'm not going to be responding to emails during this time, but I will get to you as soon as I get back." So again, it's just those little reassurances, those things to make sure people feel like if they are buying from you in that period, perhaps between Christmas and New Year's, and you're not working, that it's like, okay, they're not going to get back to me, but they will do in January. So I've got that sort of reassurance as a customer, and I can make my own decision as to whether I'm happy to purchase during that time or whether I'm going to wait it out. And either way is fine. So emails and communication are sort of super important, as I'm sure would agree, Anna.
Yeah, well, you know me. I love it. I love an email. But yeah, I think it's all about that clarity, isn't it? It's about being super clear, especially as I will probably get into talking about gift vouchers, but especially as people who receive a gift voucher might be really excited about spending it. And we know that a number of jewelers I spoke to last year were like, "Oh, actually, I was really busy between kind of Christmas and New Year and into January with people who had gift vouchers or who were maybe didn't get what they wanted for Christmas and were just treating themselves or whatever it might be." So we need to remember that there may be people who are who are doing a little bit of shopping themselves during that time. So just having that clarity there makes people feel confident to shop with you.
Absolutely. And I think if you can preempt some of the things that they might ask you about, you can even put that in your auto replier. So, for example, if you have sent out a bunch of gift vouchers and you're expecting people to get in touch in your auto reply, you can say, if you're interested in looking at what's available for your gift voucher, please click here, and perhaps direct them to a blog post or a page on your website where you've created something for them, like this is what you can get with these gift vouchers, or this is the process, and so on and so forth. And the same for if someone's getting in touch because they're interested in buying, you might say, if you're interested in buying something, here's my online shop. And just again, it's those things that seem so obvious to us because we're like, well, they're on the website, they should know where the shop is. But sometimes if you've written an email, but someone's thought about you and said, okay, well, thanks for getting in touch, I'm not around at the moment, but here's the shop, do have a browse, do go ahead and make a purchase. I will be back on this date in January, not just in the new year, giving them a specific date, and maybe giving them the date after you're back. So you've got a day to get on top of your emails. We used to do that at London Jewellery School. We'd open on one day, but the staff would be back the day before, because sometimes, depending on how big the business is, there's a lot to catch up on in the new year. And you don't want to sort of start overwhelmed. But I think
And I do want to add one thing. Sorry.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Well, I just wanted to add, because I teach, and if you do teach workshops, it is really important to have some dates available for 2025 for people, especially if they're gifting vouchers and things like that, so that they can start looking and go, oh, I've got a voucher for a workshop, and what date can I do? So having I've got mine up till December 2025 now, but having those available at least for the first few months makes people again feel confident, like, oh yes, okay, I've got a voucher and I know I can use it, kind of thing. So
absolutely. And since we're on this, we may as well talk about gift vouchers. There's a few other things to cover too. But if you haven't already set up your gift vouchers, this is a great time to be doing it. And it's something that perhaps you've been selling gift vouchers all along, but maybe nobody's bought them or there's not been a lot of traction on it. But sometimes the best time to sell a gift voucher is like 2 days before Christmas, or even the day before Christmas, because it's that last minute present where you sort of thought you'd got something for someone and you haven't, or you suddenly remembered something, or, whatever, you've just been a bit disorganized this year and not managed the present. So I think sending out an email, and this is something, if it's, you might be off at that time, you might be off on Christmas Eve or even the day before, but you can schedule an email to go out on those days to say, don't worry, it's not too late. There's still an opportunity to get something special for someone. You can get our gift vouchers here. And you never know, it might just bring something in. So that's always an option too, to kind of do that last minute gift voucher push, I suppose. So speaking of emails, there are a few emails that might be good to schedule for over the Christmas period. I recommend sending a happy Christmas sort of day email, if that's in line with your business and the kind of thing you do. Lots of businesses will be sending them, and it doesn't need to be a big deal. It can just be like a thank you for supporting me this year. Thank you for being on my list. Maybe a quick run through of things that you've done, but it can even just be really simple. It's just like some pictures of your jewelry, Maybe telling us how you're spending Christmas if you want to, and wishing everyone kind of a happy holidays. So that's probably one I would schedule. The other one is New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, maybe one for that time as well. And again, just wishing everyone a happy new year, maybe giving them a bit of an idea of what you're going to be focusing on in the next year, what they can look forward to. So these few little touch points. So you don't need to be doing tons of marketing, but I think a couple of emails would be a nice little touch over that kind of festive period. What do you think, Hannah?
I think it's a really lovely idea to have that. And as you said, it's not kind of, well, no email should be a massive long email, but it doesn't have to be much, but it's just a little thank you. I think this is part of handmade businesses and people who support us. It's lovely to kind of give that back and just show how important that is for you. So it may be that you can share a picture. It could be a picture of your dog with a Santa hat on. I don't know. Whatever it might be. Whatever feels relevant, whatever feels right and whatever feels relevant for you. You may want to share a little picture of yourself or you may not, but there might be something that you can share that perhaps if you did a craft market over Christmas and there's a photo, a festive photo or something, there might be something on your camera roll that you could think of to share as well. But it's just about that relationship building, isn't it? And it's about kind of building that community feel and that thank you.
Absolutely. And I think it's about having the break with a few touch points. So it's not all or nothing. It's not that you've just disappeared. If you do just disappear, it's also fine. Like no one will, it sounds terrible, doesn't it? But no one will notice. Everyone's so busy, they'll just be doing their own thing. It's not going to be a big deal. But if you have the bandwidth to add in a little bit of marketing, a few little touch points, then that's a really nice thing to be able to do. And the great thing is once you've done it one year, next year you can go into those email templates and just edit them, change a picture, change a few words, and you've kind of got it all set up ready to go. So it's kind of something that's going to be reoccurring and useful for us. Now I think the other thing to talk about is socials, social media. So it depends what you're doing already, but I think for a lot of us around the build up to Christmas, we're posting pretty much every day or as much as we possibly can, because we're trying to attract customers, to have some engagement, to get some sales, all those kind of things. You might have fairs and events that you're sharing about, all of that kind of stuff. And I would encourage you to take a break from socials over the Christmas period, but it doesn't mean you have to take a total break. There's different ways you can do it. You may decide actually you want a total break, and that's fine. And you just take a few weeks off. You don't need to do a post to tell us. You can do if you want to. It's totally fine. I see them sometimes, but you can just stop posting. It's allowed for a few weeks. No one will panic. No matter what size the account is, it should be fine. But you can also just scale back the social. So if you're posting every day, you might just choose to post like twice a week and just touch in with some thank yous, some things about gift vouchers, a happy Christmas post, a happy New Year's post, maybe sharing a little bit about what you're up to, especially in stories. I think that can be quite nice just to see, I love seeing like how jewelers are spending the holidays and just having a little insight into their lives. It doesn't need to be everything, but just little moments. But I think the nice thing about socials over Christmas is it's kind of like permission to do whatever you want. So if you feel like posting, you can post. And if you don't, you don't need to. Whereas around a marketing time, we usually have to be a little bit more, get ourselves to do it because it's important for our business. So I think kind of scaling things back is what we tend to do. Anna, I don't know what you do for your accounts, but I think it's nice just to have the option to just switch off a bit from the digital world as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think it is great that we can schedule posts if we want to. And same with emails. I think just it's nice to really I like the timing of this podcast actually because it means that people can kind of prepare and think about it in advance and just schedule a few little things. It's not about trying to bombard people, of course, because it's not maybe the time for it. But I do love the idea of sharing a little bit in stories. Sometimes people say to me, "Oh, but who cares about what I'm doing and who cares about my Christmas tree and things?" I'm like, "Yeah, we do. We do care. Everyone cares." So it's nice. And I love that idea about sharing in stories as well, because if you don't, if there's something you can share, but it's going to go away in 24 hours, it's a really lovely space in Instagram to just share a little bit about what's going on, if that feels, because it's all about that connection, as we'll talk about a lot generally with business, but with handmade businesses, it's about having that connection. And yeah, so, but again, permission not to, not to as well. It's about what feels right for you.
Yeah, it's nice to have the freedom either way. I think one of the things is that over the Christmas period, and I've noticed especially on Christmas Day, people are on their phones a lot. I think because we're kind of sat around, like, I mean, not all of us, but usually for some period of time, there's more relaxation. It's like a Sunday, it's like a permanent Sunday. So you're just sort of scrolling. So in a way, it's good to be present because people will see you. But I think Anna's right. Like, what I want to see around that time is what people are up to. I don't want to see sales posts or, anything too businessy, because I'm switched off and I'm like, you kind of are attracted to other things that are switched off too. So light touch, kind of fun, friendly, like, yeah, we've put up our tree or whatever, this is our Christmas lunch. If you want to. And like you said, if you've had a really busy year and you just need that break, this is a great time to take a full break without even checking your phone, because it won't make a huge difference to your business. It's not a time when people are going to be massively buying things. It's more just like a fun interaction time. So I think it's nice that we have those options. And we'll be back in the new year. I mean, we'll be here with the podcast each week, so that's exciting. We have some festive podcasts coming up. And me and Anna always love to do your Word of the Year podcast. So we'll have that coming up as well, which is a really nice way to transition into a new year. It's one where we, instead of doing resolutions or any kind of big, massive plan, we just pick one word to direct the year ahead, something that's going to that feels right, feels appropriate for the year ahead, that's going to give us direction. So we'll be sharing more about that as we come into the new year. And then, of course, if you're on something like Etsy or a platform like that, they often have holiday modes where you can literally just flip a switch and it will do the banners and everything for you and tell people this shop is on holiday mode. And you can kind of go in and put the information in around when you're going to be shipping out again and all those kind of things. So there's not too much to do, a couple of emails to schedule, maybe a bit of social. I think the most important thing is the communication with customers around the website and also the autoresponders, so nobody's panicking. Like, for example, if somebody needed to return something, which hopefully wouldn't happen, and they got in touch and then they felt like they've been ignored for a week or so, that could be a tricky customer service situation. So if you've got that communication in place, then they know, okay, this person's going to get back in touch with me then. So all of those things, I think, are the essentials. So make yourself a little list and, add it add it to the last day's worth of work to do. And then hopefully you can switch off and just enjoy your holidays and whatever you like to do with it. I think the last thing we wanted to talk about a little bit is something very exciting we have coming up in January, which is the brand new Jewellery Business Academy. Me and Anna have been filming for this over the past couple of weeks as well. We're excited because it's a whole brand new course, all brand new content. Anyone who's done any business kind of workshops with us before will know the kind of thing that we like to do. But basically, we want to help support anyone out there who wants to either launch or grow a profitable, thriving jewelry business. And we spend a whole year together working through all different areas of a jewelry business, from the basics of sort of business planning, vision setting, moving into branding, looking at your signature style, your products, what you're selling, and then all other sorts of things: websites, photography, marketing, emails, the whole shebang, pricing, the list goes on. So if you would like to get involved with that, we will put a link in the show notes, because we'd absolutely love to have you there as part of the team. It's going to be an epic year together. Anna, I know you're excited for it as well, aren't you?
I'm really excited because it's bringing together so much of what we've been doing over the last few years into something completely lovely and new. And I also particularly love the one-to-one mentoring that people get as well, because I feel like that can be a real game changer. Because sometimes it's just that little thing. It's just having someone, a sounding board there that you can ask questions and just have that quality time with, really just one to one, but know that it's a jewelry business professional who's matched with you based on what you specifically need to do. So yeah, it's been brilliant filming it. It's been so fun. And yeah, we can't wait to get started in January.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we kick off first week of January. So sign-ups are open now. So I know you're busy probably with your Christmas stuff, but as soon as you're ready, do go ahead and sign up for that. And we will be here. We'll be here in January to start building it all over again, and have an even better year next year. So brilliant. Well, best of luck, everyone, for the rest of the Christmas season. We will be back here next week with an episode. But thank you, Anna, so much for coming and joining me today. And I'll see you guys on another podcast soon. Bye for now.